has to be a joke. I cannot believe this is happening.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. This is what I keep telling you guys. It is a worldwide phenomenon that is growing. And in the post-pandemic world, after all of the policy disasters, after all of the globalist garbage that we've had to endure, the idea that conservative populism is just gonna go away and die with Donald Trump has always been leftist copium, leftist hopium. It never represented the reality when it comes to the political momentum shift that we are not only seeing in the Americas, we're seeing in Europe, and frankly, we're probably going to see across the globe. Conservative populism is rising. Very often it's been dubbed as the new conservative era, the new conservative age. Well, folks, it seems like it is here, as Italy has now officially elected an America First style, Italy First style is probably the best way to say it, conservative populist party to parliament. But not only that, they elected that party known as the Brothers of Italy with a strong, decisive majority in parliament. It was a landslide victory for the conservative populists. That means they have total control over legislation going forward. Folks, the EU leftoids are panicking, shivering, as Italy goes full Trump, full make Italy great again, and as the globalist leftoids and their new liberal order crumbles before their very eyes. We've got some stuff to cover, folks. This new conservative movement continues to explode and expand, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on as we take a look into the Brothers of Italy political party. Let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so you just Google Giorgia Meloni, which was the woman who was just elected decisively as the new Prime Minister of Italy. And the headlines pretty much tell you all that you need to know. Just imagine coping leftoids typing at their keyboards in tears, basically looking like the crying Soyjack meme. Europe holds its breath as Italy expected to vote in far-right leader. The return of fascism in Italy. Italy posed for hard-right leader as country votes in snap election. How afraid should Europe be of Giorgia Meloni? Italy votes as far-right Meloni looks for victory. And immediately what that tells me is that Giorgia Meloni is probably not far-right. She's probably just a normal conservative, run-of-the-mill conservative nationalist populist. Immediately what that tells me is if the mainstream media is panicking and smearing her as far-right or as a semi-fascist and a fascist, then she's probably a decent hard-working woman from a working-class background with some decent policies. And I delved into it just a little bit, and that's pretty much what I'm finding. Italy returns to fascism and far-right policies under the Brothers of Italy. Then you go to European Conservatives and Reformist Group, the ERC group, member party, Brothers of Italy, Fratelli d'Italia. Founded in 2012, Fratelli d'Italia is an emerging force in Italian politics, with the party increasing its vote share during both the 2018 national election and the 2019 European elections. The party promotes respect for sovereignty and national unity, underscores the importance of a fair, sustainable, and modern system of taxation, and advocates the necessity of security, the rule of law, and social cohesion. Does that sound like fascism to you? Does that sound like extreme far-right stances? The only evidence of extremism and far-right politics that I can see associated with the group are that some members supposedly posted some edgy memes involving that 1940s Germany leader, to which the leader of the party immediately suspended every single one of those members. And while the party, in its inception, did have some connections towards Mussolini and fascism, or praising that kind of style of politics, that does not represent the current iteration of the party under this current leader. From what I understand, Giorgia Meloni has worked extensively to bring the party to the center-right, and has a consistent track record of condemning outright extremism. In other words, it's a centrist right-wing populist party that believes in low taxation, the rule of law, and secure borders. In other words, far-right Mussolini Hitler fascism, according to The Guardian and The Atlantic and the rest of these ridiculous goons crying leftoid tears on Twitter. It's just ridiculous ridiculous, and honestly, I don't want to spend most of this video entertaining all of the garbage talking points that we're seeing from the left. The simple fact of the matter is that this should be a celebration. Well, actually, a celebration of two things. As Jack Posobiec points out on Twitter, Mrs. Georgia Maloney shattered the glass ceiling. But wait a second. I thought these evil far-right conservative extremists were misogynists and racists. Yet these misogynists elected a woman as their party leader. So much for that narrative. So that's one thing to celebrate, but of course the main thing that we have to celebrate is this continued momentum shift. We're seeing it in Sweden and so many other countries, and now we're seeing it in Italy. And it wasn't just a small increase in political support and favor, it was a massive blowout victory. In Italy, they have a parliamentary system, meaning there's tons of parties on the ballot. It is extremely hard to win a majority. For instance, if we take a look at Canada, Justin Trudeau has theoretically won the last two elections, but he won a government minority, meaning Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party won the most seats in Parliament, but didn't win a majority of the seats in Parliament, meaning Justin Trudeau's party had to form a coalition with the Juggers, Jagmeet Singh, representing the NDP, which is basically the AOC far left-wing faction of Canadian politics. And so you have this tug-of-war system where if the leading party doesn't score a majority, then they need other political parties to form a majority with them in order for them to pass legislation, and they have to compromise. That happens quite often, but in this case in Italy, the Brothers of Italy have, according to the exit poll data that we currently have, secured or are on the verge of securing a parliamentary majority. That means no other party can stand in their way. They don't need to form a coalition like clown Justin Trudeau needs to. They can just get the job done. And they have a very specific mandate. I'm assuming, based on what I've researched, very similar to what we're seeing from conservatives across the globe. Lower taxes, rule of law, pro-freedom, pro-independence, anti-government lockdown and control and emergency power abuses. And of course, most important, the nationalist element, taking care of your own, securing your border, and implementing policies that benefit you and your people above the world's needy. Because in many cases, making the world's needy your main priority usually comes at the expense of your own people. This conservative populist movement is growing, and it's growing significantly, folks. In this environment of economic instability, of foreign policy instability, with globalist entities causing nothing but havoc, whether it's the WHO, NATO, the EU, the list goes on and on. The WEF, of course, probably at the core of all of it. People are waking up and we are seeing a clear political shift towards the right. It's happening across the Western world, and you can no longer deny it. Just like I covered the video on Pierre Poilievre in Canada, the new conservative leader, who, by the way, might I add, is now leading in the polls significantly against Justin Trudeau. If there's a right-wing shift happening in Canada, well then you would be a very unique level of naive or, what's the word that I'm looking for? Trying not to sound too rude. Let's just say dumb, to believe that it's not happening across the globe and specifically in the Western world. The new conservative age is rising, and it's like I've been saying, Donald Trump does not represent the totality of this new populist conservative nationalist movement. Donald Trump was merely the seed that was planted, and now it's blossoming, and people are waking up to the hypocrisies of the left and the globalist liberal new world order. And the pendulum is shifting. It's shifting significantly quicker than expected, most likely thanks to lockdowns and all the other nonsense. And this is more proof, what we're seeing out of Italy, that this conservative movement is continuously growing and expanding. Keep coping, leftoids. You are losing on the world stage, and that at this point is an undeniable fact. Congratulations to Italy and their political awakening. That's what I got for you guys, though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.